All right, I think we are live. Hello, friends. We're gonna take a second here. Let's go live on Instagram. There we go.
There we go.
All right,
Just one.
All
Hi,
right,
everyone. We are
hello.
back.
Go
It's so
ahead,
good
Dr.
to
Angelica.
see
Pick this up.
you. I'll let us take it away then. So today, Dr.Simran and I will be talking about something a little different. It's the power of your mindset and something called the success cycle. So something that we've both been talking about that is commonly coming up, whether it's around our health goals, personal goals, professional goals, there's this underlying root that we really need to dive into. And it's not so much of our actions or habits just yet. That's actually the result or outcome of what we're going to talk about. And that's your mindset and your belief systems. So this is going to help transform and change the way we approach any goal in life. And also talking about a couple tools that we found to be really supportive and powerful in helping a lot of health goals in particular. I know recently I've been noticing as well when it comes to guiding a lot of my current clients through the health goals that they're experiencing, there tends to be this roadblock that comes up where they mention, oh, I don't think I'm capable of doing this. That's just so hard for me. I'm not the type of person who does this or work out. And the common thread in all of that is we're talking to ourselves in a way that is already negating what we're capable of. And what we aren't also realizing is how powerful those thoughts are. So when we start to even reframe that, that is where we can actually start stepping into and tapping into our self-realized potential. So I don't know if you have anything that you'd like to share as well, Dr. Simran.
Absolutely. No, I was just sharing with you before we went live that I had a friend reach out to me this week and was just telling me, like, I am not you. I cannot be like you. And I just don't have the same level of what the word she used was confidence that you have when you show up online. And I just started laughing because I was like, just literally scroll back on my Instagram back to 2020 and you're going to see like this, young girl who's like online and stuttering every time she's talking. And like the number of times I had to start and restop a video when I was recording. So, like when it comes to our beliefs, it's like the way that I really came to understand it is that there's a big F word with our beliefs, right? Not the one that you're probably thinking of, but it's either you have faith or you have fear, right? And that's really what designs all our beliefs around what we think is possible for ourselves. And I think one of the things for me, I think I'll share before I share, actually, if you're watching this live, please tell us where you're tuning in from and, one thing that maybe you want us to address when it comes to mindset and beliefs around health goals, but then also tag your friends in this because this is something that literally can help anybody transform their life. And the way that if you're on Instagram or if you're on Facebook, you can, I think on Facebook, you use the @ symbol and then type in their name. And on Instagram, you use the little arrow and you send the live to that person. And even if they can't tune in live right now, that's okay. They'll be able to watch the replay. So definitely do that. And then just a quick disclaimer, right? I am a medical doctor and a health coach. Dr. Angelica is a doctor of physical therapy and an integrative health coach. However, anything we share with you during our lives is not meant to be medical advice, but this is really information that we hope you use to educate and empower yourselves and your inner circle to get you to the life that you want to live. That's really our goal with all of this. And so let me share this slide real quick. I love this quote. A healthy outside starts from the inside. And this, like, adopting this belief for me was such a huge game changer because when I was 26, my background, when I was 26, I was basically told, I have this genetic mutation, the BRCA1 genetic mutation. And I was basically told, like, you have an 87% lifetime risk of getting breast cancer and a 50 to 60% lifetime risk of getting ovarian cancer. At that point, there had been 9 women in my family who had had either breast or ovarian cancer. And my mom had had breast cancer once, now twice. And so, for most people, especially at the age of 26, when you get that sort of information, it is extremely paralyzing. And for me, it was even more so because I was going to the hospital every day caring for dying people. And there came a point in my journey where I really had to adopt a new mindset. So either I could be a victim, right, of my genetic mutation and be like, okay, well, this is my destiny. It's my family history. It's true. I have a genetic mutation and basically I'm going to get cancer. So I can just do whatever and it doesn't really matter. Or I had to turn it around and say, okay, I have this genetic mutation, but what is in my control that I can do every single day that will reduce my risk of cancer? Mm-hmm. And that was the question I took to my medical team. And I asked them over and over the same question. And even though they didn't have anything to share with me, they actually were giving me disempowering beliefs, which was, you have a genetic mutation, there's nothing you can do. And I was like, well, my belief is that there is always something you can do no matter what life throws your way. And that was when I really developed this mindset of like, okay, wellness is a mindset first. So before I can figure out all the things I can do to reduce my risk of cancer, I need to fix the thoughts up here, right? And because the thoughts are then going to go on to determine how I feel, and how I feel is going to go on to determine, the type of action I'm going to take. And so this is now going to perpetuate something called the success cycle, which is what we're going to go through today. And before I do that, I want to set up the stage with how I understand all this. And you can chime in, Dr. Angelica, and let me know what you think about this. So, wellness is the mindset first. And how do we break up that mindset? For me, it is something called our state. And this is our state is the way that we show up every single day in our world, regardless of what's happening, right? And our state is made up of, it's a triangle, and it's made up of 3 different parts, right? The biggest is the foundation. This is our physical body. And you and I have talked about this endlessly in our last lives, the way we're eating, the way we're moving, the way we're managing our stress, all the things we're doing with our physical body. Then the next part of our state is something called our focus or our beliefs. And then the last part is our language. So today we're going to focus mostly on our beliefs, right? And our beliefs really form, I would say, our model of the world. Right. It's the way that we look at everything. People are, he is, she is. And our beliefs are created based off of all the life experiences that we have had. And here's the thing that most people don't realize, and this is why most of us get stuck with our health goals, is that beliefs can be created and beliefs can be destroyed. Mm-hmm. At any given point in your life, you are not your beliefs and your beliefs are not you.
100%. I have so much to share there. Yeah.
And I think, go ahead.
Oh, no, I feel like when we start to realize that, it's very empowering, because so many of us become disempowered and we feel victim to these conditioned beliefs that we've acquired through our entire lifespan, from as young as our adolescent years through, the ruthless high school years and then onward. And then we just allow that to really influence what we deem as possible for ourselves. And what we're here to share with you all is that you can actually change those beliefs so that it can proliferate into this desired reality, health, reality, a life of energy and vibrance that you feel like is such a distant thought, but it's actually much more feasible than you realize. And it does start truly, as you're mentioning, Dr. Simran, that it starts first on the inside. And we've been conditioned to think that it's such an outside in approach. And that's why there's so many things out in the mass media teaching us that until we can really change everything about us, then we feel good inside. But that couldn't be the complete opposite. But continue.
Yeah. And I think like you said, our beliefs are not just created by us and our life experiences, but our beliefs are shaped by the people around us, by the work environment around us. A big one is by social media and the screens that we're consuming. And so one of the things that I love that Tony Robbins says is that we have to stand guard at the entrance of our mind, because every single thing that we consume and allow inside of us is shaping our beliefs and what we believe is possible for us, right? And what we're going to share with you today, the success cycle. Again, if you have any questions, thoughts, anything you want to chime in, please drop it in the comments and we would love to engage with you. But, I think the reason successful people get more successful and the people who wish they had success but are stuck in the same place is because of this success cycle and how it works. So 80% of everything we do, and you said this, Dr. Angelica, 80% of everything we do is our mindset, 20% is strategy. Most people are so focused on how that they get stuck before they can even take the next step.
Right.
Right.
That's so crazy, because once again, we get so hyper fixated on the how, but sometimes we don't even have to figure out the how when our mindset is already living in that space of creating that reality. And something that you were mentioning earlier of just how so many factors outside of us really dictate how our experiences of the world is our environment and things that are reflecting back to us. But we do have to create such a protection over what is coming in for us, or else that's just going to continue to manifest the same reality. And that's the discomfort that comes with realizing that we aren't as happy with whatever it is we're experiencing. So I'll let you take it away in sharing the next step of this.
Okay. So what does the success cycle look like? And we're going to tie this all back into health goals at the end of this, because we're going to share with you our favorite system that will give you the momentum to activate this success cycle in your life for your health goals. So we're going to tie it all back to that at the end. So make sure you stay tuned for the end when we're going to talk about that. So what is the success cycle? So it has to do with, it starts with our belief, then it has to do with our potential and results. Okay. So just remember kind of this cycle here, and we'll go through each one of these things. So it starts with our potential. So our potential, the amount of our potential that we tap into determines the actions that we will take. Okay. And this is what I want to say. Every single one of us has the potential to accomplish anything that we desire in this life. Okay. And the way we know that that is possible is we find someone who has done what we've already want to do. And we already know, like, okay, well, if they can do it, then I can do it. But before that, the first thing that you have to tell yourself is, I believe that this is possible for me.
Yes.
And I think the part where most of us get stuck with our potential, the reason we can't tap into our potential is because most of us believe, I can't do this because X, I can't do this because Z, I can't do this because whatever, and they can do this because X, Y, Z. So we always make excuses as to why it's easier for someone else to accomplish something, whether it's the business or the health goals or whatever the goal is, and we make up excuses as to why it's not possible for us.
Right. And that really goes into the whole fixed versus growth mindset. It's such a foundational theory that describes our ability to actually pursue the things that we desire for ourselves. Are we fixed in this state of mind and being, like you mentioned, of, okay, that worked for them, that's not going to work for me because of XYZ, which are perceived limitations that we place upon ourselves. Once again, perception. That is the perception that's actually shapeable, versus a growth mindset where it's like, I am nowhere near being, the influential person as that person, but I can start to incrementally scale in that direction because I believe that. So,
Yeah.
so.
And why is it that most of us don't fully tap into that potential? Like, why do you think that most of us don't take the steps towards what we are capable of? If there was one thing you would say we are scared of as human beings, like what would you say that is?
It's like our fear of some arbitrary death, or that's not actually death anymore, but
our fear of one F word in particular. It's our fear of failure. And every single one of us, it doesn't matter if it's you or me or LeBron James or Tony Robbins, like we all have this inherent fear as human beings of failure. Because if we fail, in our head, it leads down to two things. One, we're not enough. And if we're not enough, then we won't be loved. And those are the two most destructive and destructive and what do I want to say? Like, those are the two things that every single one of us as human beings desire. We just want to be told that we're enough, and we want to feel that we're loved. And the feel of failure, like 100% destroys both of those, because we connect failure with, okay, I'm not enough and I'm not going to be loved. But what if we turn that belief, like for me, it has become now that every single circumstance and situation that happens in my life is either a lesson for me to learn from, it's an opportunity for me to grow, or it's a blessing that is protecting me from something that I may never find out about. And that's
I love that. A
lesson,
right?
So failure versus lesson, totally different feeling.
I also love to think that it's a step treading towards the right direction. You either learn that it wasn't, what you were looking for, but at least now and you can take that out of the equation, and that still gets us one step closer. Versus what I also feel like can stop a lot of us is that feeling of analysis paralysis. We're like, well, if I do this, then what if this happens? Or if I do this, but we still stay and remain in the same position as we did yesterday, as opposed to just shooting out, maybe not in the dark, but with a little bit of calculated risk that, again, helps us know if it's a lesson, an opportunity, or a blessing.
Absolutely. And I think what we want you to take away from potential is that if you are listening to this, if you woke up alive today and you have a dream or a goal, you have the potential to accomplish it. Yes. If there is someone else out there that has done it, there is no reason that you can't do it too. But it first starts with your own belief that it is possible for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So that is potential. Next, the reason potential is so important is because if you tap into your greatest potential, it will then take you into the kind of action that you're going to take, right? So if you don't believe something is possible for you, what kind of action are you going to take? Are you going to take good quality action, or are you going to take crappy action?
Right. Or beating around the bush.
Right? So this is important because if you believe something is really possible for you, you're going to take strong quality action towards the goal that you have in mind for yourself, right? And that is important because if you take strong quality action, what kind of results are you going to get?
Get closer to your desired goals.
You're going to get good quality results, right? So the results we get reflect the actions we take, right? Mm-hmm. And this is going to come full circle because if you get good quality results from the strong action you took, then you're going to get good quality good quality results, and that is going to then empower your own belief in yourself.
Mm-hmm. Right? And I feel continue.
Go ahead.
I was going to say the number one thing that can help us change our belief structures is when we do see the evidence, the results that prove whatever self-limiting beliefs we initially had, that it is possible for us. So instead of, maybe taking massive strides and actions off the get-go, we can take action steps that feel palatable to us until we can feel confident and build up that momentum to really see through the big action steps that are really going to change our belief structures. But yeah.
And it all works on top of each other, right? So like you said, if we tap into our greatest potential because we believe it's possible for us, we're going to take good quality action. If we take good quality steps and action, we're going to inevitably get good results, even if it's just, one result in the direction towards our goals. And if we get positive reinforcement from those results, that is going to then, drive that belief that, yes, I can do this. Like, look, I just did that. So yes, I can do this. And then you're going to continue to tap into your greatest potential, which will then drive that success cycle, right? So every step forward, even like Dr. Angelica said, even if it's a stumble in the positive direction that you want to go in, will then, encourage that belief system that it is possible, I can do this, and you will continue to go. But the opposite is also true, that if you don't believe it's possible for you, you're going to either not take any action at all, or you're going to take crappy action, and then you're going to get crappy results. And then that's just going to drive the belief that, yeah, this isn't for me. Like, this is possible for everyone else, but not for me. And you hear this all the time, especially with people on a health journey. For example, with weight loss, what do you hear people say all the time?
Tried everything.
I've tried everything, right? And then, like, I've gone through this with so many of my clients, right? It's like, okay, well, let's talk about what you've tried. Well, I've tried this, and I tried that, and I tried that. I was like, okay, but that's 3 things. You said you've tried everything, right? Mm-hmm. So they create a belief that they've tried everything, when in reality, they've tried a handful of things. But they've created a belief that, I did a bunch of things and it didn't work. So I'm just meant to, be this weight, and I will never be able to get to my goal weight or whatever their goal is. So the biggest problem with our beliefs is that we believe them.
Mm-hmm. We give too much power to them. And then we use that framework towards whatever future, what would you call it? Attempts or trials or things that come our way. And because of what we had experienced in the past, and we use that same mindset and belief to go into this new thing, inevitably that is going to lead us right back into the same outcome of what we had in the past 3 times. So a saying that I always love is, if you want something different, you have to be willing to do something different consistently. And I feel like that too is also a huge piece of the pie. We, in the process of trying to change our belief structures, it's going to be so uncomfortable. And we truly recognize that, because our brains are literally wired to follow the path of least resistance, right? We just remember what feels safe and what has felt efficient to us in the past. So during this time, think that discomfort of you pushing the envelope towards that next level version of yourself is going to ultimately lead you towards that, desired reality or health goal you've always imagined.
And pushing that positive belief structure, recreating a new belief structure is going to be challenging. And guess who it's going to be the hardest for? It's going to be, it's going to be hard for you, but it's actually going to be the hardest for the people around you, right? Mm-hmm. Because like Dr. Angelica said, every single one of us is wired for comfort, and we resist change. As human beings, we dislike change, right? And so if you have made a decision that this is possible for me, like I can live my best healthy life, and I can live a life of vitality, and a life that is not full of pain, and a life where I can shed all this weight. If you've made that decision, it's going to make a lot of people around you uncomfortable, because now you're going to start doing things like going for walks and, eating healthier and doing different things that maybe the people around you aren't doing. And so you may feel the resistance. But like Dr. Angelica said, keep taking steps in the forward direction that you want to go. And along with that comes finding community, because proximity is power, right? And I always say to a lot of my clients, like, show me the 5 people you hang out with, and I'm going to show you who you'll become. Right.
So powerful.
And so along with restructuring those beliefs, it might also mean really taking inventory, like we had said at the beginning, really taking inventory of who are the people in your life right now. What are they doing? What does their life look like? What's social media and the media channels that you're consuming, right? And you might, as you're restructuring your beliefs, you might have to restructure some of the other parts in your life so that they empower you to believe your beliefs.
I love that.
I think that's the hardest part of coaching. And I don't know if you've experienced, like with my clients, it's like we're in our coaching calls, and like the excitement is real. Like they believe, like sometimes coaching, the reason it's so amazing is because, sometimes it takes someone else believing in you before you can believe it yourself. And that's the accountability of coaching and why it's so powerful. But the hardest part about coaching is then the person goes back to their regular life. They're like thrown all the beliefs, right? Like all of these, right? Of why they can't get from where they are to where they want to go with their health goals, right? Like they'll go back to their spouse who is super stressed, or they'll go back to their kid duties, or, their work environment that's super toxic, or, they'll feel empowered and then get back to their life and realize, well, I don't know all these things, or what if I fail, or what are they going to think, or, all the things.
That's a huge thing too. And I love that you pointed that out. It's on top of us already working on the limiting beliefs or fears around not being loved or not being enough. It's recognizing that we are giving our power away to the thoughts and perceptions of what other people around us have over us and the way that we live our lives. So if in the process of you choosing you and what is best for you makes the people around you uncomfortable, then that is a good sign for you to recalibrate and ask yourself, A, are these the people that I want to be spending my time around? And B, if they're, people that you naturally can't just block out and, put on your do not disturb, then create boundaries. And there will be a time where you can start to communicate what you want for yourself. And if they don't respect that, then that should be telling, because the people who truly love you and will support you will only want what is best for you as well.
Absolutely. And Dr. Jasmine, one of our favorites, just said, ask yourself this question, like, who is my tribe?
So important.
And so important, right? remember this, if there's anything you take away from this, like, who is my tribe? Like, think about the 5 people that you are closest to, and think about what they're doing in their life. Like, are they waking up and going to the gym, or are they staying up late every night, going partying and drinking alcohol? And think about how that reflects the things that they're doing in their life, whether it be, with their health, with their family, with their business, because whoever you spend the most time with is who you're going to become.
Law of proximity. It's truly, it's everything more than we will give it, than we'd like to give it credit to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's talk about then, how do we, because this success cycle can be applied to any different pillar of your life. If you want to improve a relationship, if you want to improve your business, if you want to improve anything in your life, really. But how we're going to apply it is with our health goals. And what we want to share with you, which we have before, is how do we use this system that Dr. Angelica and I are a big fan of. How do we use this and apply it to the success cycle and get the momentum and results we want with our health? And we're going to show you how this works and why we love it so much. So let's talk about it real quick. What is it? And then we're going to show you how it's going to help you with the success cycle. Okay. So Dr. Angelica, do you want to kick it off?
Sure. So the system that we're talking about in relation to our health goals, what we were just saying, it's really hard for us to create some sustainable momentum. Well, this is a tool that we have tried personally and have given to our loved ones and many of the clients we worked with as what we like to call a momentum or a Kickstarter towards really helping you with wherever you are in your health goals. So basically, it's just this 2-part system. What you'll find here is a tool called the Unimate. It's this yerba mate concentrate. And the second product is Balance, which is a matrix of 7 different types of plant fibers. And what they both do is help with the underlying issue that helps with appetite suppression or curbing our cravings, and also improving how long we can go without eating our first meal, which is a huge part of how we can support our metabolism. So everything here is focused on optimizing our metabolism, because in this day and age, when we are constantly eating and snacking and a lot of meals are processed or full of refined sugars, naturally that's taking a huge toll on our body's ability to really break down and digest all of those different things, and creates a lot of inflammation and even creates a lot of risks for the different conditions many people, actually 93% of people, are experiencing today. So I don't know if you want to go a little bit more into in depth with it, Dr. Simran.
Okay, let's talk about the first product. So the first product is called Unimate. And the way that this company, why we love it in particular, the way that this company creates this yerba mate extract is that it goes through a 5-step patented process. So they make a very purified tea that is then concentrated as well to give you more benefits than you would get from just a regular yerba mate tea. Okay, so there are several benefits to this tea. I like to think about it: mental health, metabolic health, and gut health. So from a mental health perspective, yerba mate has all the benefits that we see in coffee and green tea. So if you think about antioxidants like chlorogenic acid and theobromine in particular has a way of activating our parasympathetic nervous system, and really just like it's an adaptogen. So it's a really like it gives us this feel good feeling. So a lot of people that take Unimate will tell you, like, I just feel happier and I have more mental clarity, less brain fog. And what Dr. Angelica was saying is that it really gets rid of the food noise that we're all so surrounded by in our modern lifestyle, right? And what it does is it naturally increases a hormone in our body called GLP-1. So that's a hormone that basically, shuts down our appetite center in the brain and basically keeps us satisfied with where we are. Okay. And then the other thing that it does is, you saw on the last slide, you saw the big fire. Let me pull it back up here. Basically, how we use Unimate is that it helps us to continue being in a fasted state in the morning. So it's really good at helping us burn our own fat for fuel. And it enhances ketone body production, which is, again, using our own fat for fuel. So for people that want to fast but have a hard time fasting, this is a great tool that works really, really well. And for anyone wondering how it tastes, essentially it tastes like a lemon iced tea. And a lot of people love the taste. So that's the first product. And the second product is something called Balance. Now, Balance, this product with this company is almost 30 years old, if not more. The original product has been around for a very long time, studied at many amazing institutions, including the Cleveland Clinic. My husband and I did this 90-day program 10 years ago, and Balance was part of it. And the way that Balance works is it really addresses your gut health, which we know today that if our gut health is good, it's going to translate into better metabolic health, better mental health, better immune system. Like we are what our gut is in terms of health, right? And so what Balance is going to do is you're going to take it before your biggest meal of the day, usually dinner for most people. It's going to prevent us from overeating, right? So it's going to keep us satiated. And then what it's going to do is help regulate our blood sugar and our blood cholesterol. And it kind of slows down the sugar absorption in your body. So it's a blend of 7 different types of soluble and insoluble fibers, along with a blend of vitamins and minerals. So the way I like to think of it is it's my multivitamin, but with a whole bunch of fibers in it as well. Any other thoughts on the 2 products? So those are the 2 products. Now, let's show you how it adds into the success cycle. So just to go back real quick, this is how it works. Very simple. In the morning, you take Unimate. It's going to extend your fast. And then in the afternoon, either before lunch or after lunch, instead of reaching for the coffee or something else, you take another Unimate, and this is going to, get rid of like the food noise of snacking and all those cravings that we usually get mid-afternoon. And then right before our biggest meal of the day, we're going to take Balance.
Yeah, we can kind of think of this as, how every health coaching journey starts with you need to eat your plants, vegetables, eat a little less. Sometimes even that step can be pretty challenging just depending on what people's lifestyle factors are. So this is a great way to support, even that precursor step before we start to incorporate all of those other good things. And I think
just to add on to that, I think in the world that we're living in today, right, most of us are working, 2 parents that are working jobs, right, with young children. We're raising families in silos. So most of us are not living around extended family like we did decades and decades ago. And life is just really busy, especially if you live in like North America, where we are a productivity-based culture. Like if you're not doing something, you are lazy, quote unquote. So society will tell you. And so I think we live in an environment and are living lifestyles where we are all looking for the magic pill or the magic bullet. And while Dr. Angelica and I will both tell you that our lifestyle is the foundation, right? The many pillars of our lifestyle are the foundation to reducing our risk of disease and to longevity. There are certain tools that we can use as we're working on the small lifestyle steps. There are certain tools that we can use to help us gain momentum so that we can then activate this success cycle in our own life, right? And so right now, maybe you're in a super busy season of life, and maybe right now going to the gym every day or completely working on transforming your diet is not possible. Well, what you could do is start a simple system like this, which is a 90-day program. And essentially, you start with the Unamate, you start with the balance, you add in a little bit of time restricted or circadian, eating pattern, otherwise known as intermittent fasting, with these two products. Super easy, right? Drop and play. And over the next couple of weeks, next couple of months, you're going to start to see some results. And you may be having more energy. You may have less brain fog. You may have more regular bowels. You may lose some weight. Your clothes may be fitting easier. You may sleep better. You'll notice results. And what those results are going to do is then drive home that belief of, I can live without pain, or I can lose weight, or I can feel better. And then what's that going to do? That's going to tap into your potential of believing that you are worthy of the life that you want to live. And this is what I hear from my clients all the time. I had a client the other day who literally has been on this system for 2 months. She has gone through a horrible, horrible life tragedy in the past year. And she was just having a hard time getting over the grief and coming out of it, as we do, because life is going to life all of us, right? Mm-hmm. And so she said, okay, I need something to help me. So I told her about the system. She lost about 25 pounds in 2 months. And now she's fitting into her wedding clothes. And she's feeling so good about the idea that she's like going shopping, feeling good in her skin. She has less knee pain, so she's hiking more with her dogs. And so what this system does is that it allows you to tap into your full potential, and then you're going to just start to make better choices as you start to feel better. And then what does that do? It just perpetuates the cycle. Right? So once you start feeling better, and you see that it's possible for you, you're going to take better action. You're going to make better health, food choices. You're going to move your body more. And then along with the system, you'll just continue to see more results. And the more results you see, the more belief that you see that this is possible for you. And then you continue to tap into your potential. And it's just, the cycle just perpetuates itself. And it's that easy.
Yes. I like to think of a rolling ball going downhill. And the thing that's going to stop it from continuously going downhill is the first step that helps to push it in the right direction. At first, it's going to feel really hard, but this is where you can gather some support. You can use these tools as the support that's going to help you push that bowling ball or, rolling block up. And we're also here to support you along that journey until it becomes easy and you are flying and doing this all on your own. But it takes that momentum shift and putting you in this more positive cycle of, let's show you what your potential is and start getting you to realize what life can and feel like when you do start to foster the the belief patterns and the action steps that will foster the results towards what that is.
Absolutely. And just like my shirt says, pause and reflect on, 5 years from now or 10 years from now. What do you want your life to look like? What are you doing? Who are you surrounded with? What kind of life experiences are you having? And what I want to tell you as someone who took care of dying people for over a decade is that your health and this body is the primary vehicle to every single one of those things that you want a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And so it is not too late. It is entirely possible. And there is so much help out there for you if you're listening to this, that it will make it easier and you will get the momentum and you will believe that it's possible. And if you don't, there's a tribe of people like Dr. Angelica and I here to believe in you before you believe in yourself. Absolutely. And so If any of this resonated, if you want to know more about the system, please reach out to us. You can reach us through Facebook or through Instagram. Send us a direct message. We can set you up with the system. We can set you up with how to do it so that it works for you. And yeah, life is too short to suffer. And the antidote to our suffering is actually in our own hands.
Yes. Yes. Today is the first step towards realizing that you can live the life that you've always wanted.
Absolutely. All right, friends. So if you don't have any, I don't see any questions on my end here. So if you don't have any other questions,
it's a pretty good wrap up then.
We will see you next time.
Alrighty. Have a great rest of your day.